Mark had always been an ordinary high school teacher. Each morning he rose before the sun, brewed a cup of coffee, and walked into a classroom filled with teenagers who were often more interested in their phones than algebra. He was dedicated, patient, and passionate about teaching, but deep down he felt a gnawing restlessness. Life seemed limited, and no matter how hard he worked grading papers or tutoring on weekends, his paycheck barely kept up with rent, bills, and the rising costs of living. Mark had a vision, a life where he wasn't just living paycheck to paycheck, a life where he had freedom, financial security, and the ability to create generational wealth. He began dreaming not of fancy cars or vacations, but of apartment buildings, cash flow, and passive income. Real estate, he realized, had the power to transform his life. He pored over books, blogs, podcasts, and seminars, absorbing every detail about creative financing, multifamily investing, and the strategies used by successful investors. Names like Michael Blank, Brandon Turner, and Grant Cardone filled his notebooks. Mark realized that the key wasn't starting with money, it was starting with knowledge, vision, and action. But there was a problem. Mark had no money for a down payment. Most traditional lenders wouldn't consider him, and conventional financing seemed impossible. Yet he refused to let this stop him. He explored alternative strategies: seller financing, FHA loans, partnerships, private lenders, and creative structures that allowed someone without substantial savings to still acquire property. Each night after grading papers, he would analyze potential deals, calculate cash flow projections, and study apartment complexes in his city. Slowly, his plan began to take shape. Mark's first opportunity appeared in the form of a small, neglected apartment building in a quiet neighborhood. The building wasn't glamorous: peeling paint, outdated kitchens, and a few tenants who had grown accustomed to a hands-off landlord. But Mark saw the potential. He approached the owner, explained his vision, and proposed a creative deal structure. He didn't have the money for a traditional down payment, but he had a plan, a clear vision, and the determination to execute it. The owner agreed to a combination of seller financing and a small personal loan, a no-money-down acquisition. Owning the building was just the beginning. Mark threw himself into renovations, tenant communication, and management systems. He learned quickly that small improvements could have a massive impact on both rent and tenant satisfaction. Units were modernized, landscaping was improved, and minor repairs were handled efficiently. Cash flow began to increase slowly at first, then more significantly as Mark applied what he had learned about optimizing operations and tenant retention. Mark also understood the power of networking. He joined real estate clubs, attended seminars, and sought advice from experienced investors. Each conversation brought new insights, ways to structure deals, negotiate terms, and scale the business. Mark realized that leverage wasn't just about money, it was also about relationships, mentorship, and access to knowledge. Friendly reminder, if you're enjoying this story so far, share your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know how you might apply these lessons in your own life. Don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who dreams of financial freedom, and subscribe for more inspiring real estate journeys. Over the next few years, Mark reinvested every dollar of profit into additional properties. Each new acquisition followed the same principles: careful analysis, creative financing, and strategic improvements. He moved from one small building to multiple units, slowly building a portfolio that generated significant cash flow. By his fifth property, Mark had left teaching to focus full-time on real estate. His life had transformed. He no longer relied solely on a fixed salary, and his investments were beginning to create real wealth. Mark's journey illustrates a powerful truth. Starting small is not a weakness, it's an opportunity. Even a modest apartment building can compound into substantial wealth if managed strategically. Every renovation, every tenant relationship, every networking connection adds to momentum. Each small win contributes to the larger picture of financial freedom. Challenges were inevitable. Tenants sometimes missed payments, repairs cost more than expected. Deals occasionally fell through. Yet Mark's resilience, honed from years in the classroom, allowed him to persevere. He learned to see obstacles as opportunities and failures as lessons to refine his strategy. Each challenge became a teaching moment, not just for him, but for his growing team of partners and mentors. He scaled intelligently. Mark began using partnerships and syndications to acquire larger properties. By pooling resources with other investors, he could take on bigger deals that offered higher returns. Each property acquisition followed careful due diligence, cash flow analysis, tenant evaluation, and market research. He understood that scaling too quickly without proper systems could be disastrous. So he invested in strong property management and streamlined operations. Midway reminder, comment below and share your thoughts on Mark's journey. How would you approach acquiring your first property? And don't forget to like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more actionable stories of real estate transformation. As Mark's portfolio grew, so did his confidence. He diversified into commercial properties, exploring office spaces and mixed-use buildings. He implemented systems for management, tenant retention, and accounting, ensuring that the cash flow was stable and sustainable. Mark had transformed from a teacher grading papers into an investor overseeing multiple income streams and creating financial freedom. Mark's story demonstrates several key principles for aspiring investors. Start where you are. Use knowledge and creativity, not just money to begin. Leverage creative financing, seller financing, FHA loans, partnerships, and private investors can replace a lack of cash. Compound your efforts. Each deal, improvement, and connection adds momentum. Persevere through setbacks. Obstacles are part of the journey. Resilience is critical. Scale intelligently. Partnerships, syndication, and strategic reinvestment allow growth beyond what one person can manage. Network and mentor. Relationships amplify opportunity and knowledge. By the time Mark fully transitioned into real estate, he was living proof that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary results. Not by luck, but through consistent, disciplined action. The same lessons apply not just to real estate, but to any field where strategic effort and persistence can compound into remarkable outcomes. He reinvested profits, continued acquiring buildings, and optimized each property for maximum cash flow. Mark also focused on education, both for himself and others, mentoring new investors who were just starting their journeys. He understood that teaching, networking, and collaboration not only amplified his impact, but also opened doors to larger deals and partnerships. Imagine the emotional arc. Mark, once grading papers in a crowded classroom, now walking through multiple apartment complexes, inspecting renovations, reviewing tenant files, and overseeing a growing real estate business. The freedom he felt was palpable. He had transformed his life not with inheritance or windfall, but with persistence, learning, and action. Reminder, share your thoughts in the comments below. Which strategies would you try first? How does Mark's journey inspire your own financial path? And as always, like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more motivating stories and actionable tips. Mark also understood the importance of mindset. He didn't just see buildings, he saw potential. He didn't see setbacks, he saw opportunities for problem solving and growth. Every tenant, every repair, every negotiation was a step toward long-term success. He cultivated patience, discipline, and a forward-thinking vision. As the years passed, Mark scaled beyond the apartment buildings into larger multifamily complexes. He leveraged his experience, knowledge, and network to structure creative deals, minimize personal financial risk, and maximize returns. His success was no accident. It was intentional, the result of years of consistent action, strategic decision-making, and relentless learning. By now, Mark had built a legacy, not just for himself, but for the many investors he mentored along the way. He had created systems, developed relationships, and built a network that allowed him to access opportunities far beyond what most beginners could imagine. His portfolio had grown from a single, modest apartment building into a collection of multifamily complexes that generated significant passive income every month. Mark often reflected on his journey, thinking back to the days when he worried about paying rent, grading papers late at night, and dreaming of a better future. He realized that the key difference wasn't luck, it was mindset. He had trained himself to see possibilities where others saw problems. He treated every obstacle as a puzzle to solve and every setback as a chance to learn. Midway reminder, take a moment to comment below and share your thoughts on Mark's journey. Which part of his strategy would you apply first? How would you structure your first property acquisition? And don't forget to like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe to the channel for more practical and inspiring real estate stories. Mark's rise wasn't linear. There were moments of doubt, unexpected expenses, and deals that almost fell apart. Tenants sometimes caused trouble, contractors delayed renovations, and occasional market shifts created uncertainty. Yet Mark had learned that persistence, patience, and careful planning were stronger than any short-term setback. He approached each challenge analytically, assessing risks, adjusting strategies, and moving forward without hesitation. He also understood the power of partnerships. By bringing on investors, lenders, and advisors, Mark could leverage more capital and take on larger deals without risking his personal finances excessively. This allowed him to scale more quickly while maintaining a stable cash flow. Every new property acquisition was a calculated move designed to grow his portfolio intelligently. Mark didn't just acquire buildings, he transformed communities. He upgraded units, improved safety, landscaped the properties, and implemented tenant-friendly policies. Residents noticed the changes, and occupancy rates rose. Word of mouth brought in more reliable tenants, increasing the value of the buildings and the revenue they generated. His reputation as a fair and strategic landlord grew in the local real estate community, opening doors to new opportunities. Friendly reminder, if you're finding Mark's journey inspiring, take a moment to comment below with your thoughts. Who would you share this story with? How would you start your own journey toward real estate independence? And as always, like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more in-depth stories that teach both mindset and strategy. As Mark continued to scale, he diversified his portfolio. He explored commercial properties, mixed-use buildings, and larger apartment complexes. Each new acquisition taught him lessons about negotiation, tenant management, financing structures, and market analysis. He reinvested profits strategically, maintaining a balance between growth and stability. This thoughtful approach ensured that his success was sustainable and not dependent on luck or a single deal. Mark's journey illustrates some of the most important lessons any aspiring investor can learn. Knowledge compounds faster than money. Investing in your education pays off exponentially. Creative financing opens doors. Seller financing, partnerships, and private loans can help you acquire assets without large cash reserves. Persistence wins. Setbacks are inevitable, but consistent effort leads to progress. Leverage relationships. Mentors, partners, and networks provide opportunities and insight beyond what you could achieve alone. Scale intelligently. Focus on systems, cash flow, and sustainable growth rather than just acquisition for acquisition's sake. Midway reminder, comment below to share your own ideas and experiences. Who has inspired your journey so far? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into real estate success stories like Mark's. Mark also understood the importance of vision. Each building was more than just an investment. It was a step toward financial freedom, personal growth, and long-term security. He realized that wealth without purpose was meaningless, so he set goals that aligned with his values, helping tenants, creating stable communities, and mentoring new investors. As Mark's portfolio continued to grow, he became a sought-after mentor in the local real estate community. He taught workshops, shared his strategies online, and guided new investors through their first deals. By helping others, he reinforced his own knowledge, strengthened his network, and expanded his influence. His impact extended far beyond his own properties. He was creating a ripple effect of financial empowerment. Final reminder, comment below and share how Mark's story has inspired you. What steps will you take first in your own real estate journey? And remember to like this video, share it with someone who dreams of financial freedom, and subscribe for more actionable stories of success. Mark's story, from a classroom teacher grading papers to a successful multi-property investor, is a testament to what ordinary people can achieve with the right combination of knowledge, creativity, action, and persistence. He proved that starting small, thinking strategically, and remaining consistent can turn even the humblest beginnings into extraordinary outcomes. Over the next several years, Mark refined every aspect of his real estate business. He hired property managers, developed maintenance systems, and tracked every financial metric meticulously. He knew that sustainable growth required discipline and foresight. Each property was evaluated not just for cash flow, but also for long-term appreciation potential. Mark approached investing like a teacher approaching a complex lesson plan, carefully, methodically, and with patience for the process to unfold. Mark also became a master of negotiation. He knew how to structure deals that benefited all parties: owners who wanted to sell, lenders who wanted security, and tenants who desired fair housing. He discovered that real estate was not just about buildings, it was about relationships. His ability to communicate clearly, listen actively, and propose win-win solutions became one of his most powerful tools. Friendly reminder, share your thoughts in the comments below. Which part of Mark's negotiation strategy could you apply in your own deals? And don't forget to like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more insights into creative real estate investing. Mark never lost sight of the bigger picture. While profits were essential, his ultimate goal was freedom. Financial independence that allowed him to live life on his own terms. He traveled, spent time with family, and continued to learn from mentors and peers. Each investment decision was a step toward long-term security and wealth creation. His success attracted attention. Other teachers, aspiring investors, and curious beginners reached out, asking how he had achieved so much. Starting with virtually no money, Mark shared his story openly, emphasizing principles over gimmicks: education, action, persistence, and leveraging creative financing. He stressed that anyone, regardless of their background, could follow a similar path if they were willing to put in the work and stay disciplined. Midway reminder, take a moment to comment below and share how you would start your first investment. What obstacles do you foresee, and how would you overcome them? And remember to like this video, share it with someone who dreams of financial independence, and subscribe for more inspiring real estate stories. Mark's portfolio continued to expand. He acquired larger apartment complexes, mixed-use properties, and eventually explored small commercial ventures. He leveraged partnerships and syndications to maximize his growth potential while minimizing personal risk. Each new property added to the stability of his cash flow, giving him the freedom he had always sought. Mark's story illustrates a key lesson. Wealth is rarely about starting with money. It is about starting with knowledge, creativity, and action. Every improvement, every deal structure, every tenant relationship compounds over time. By approaching investing with a strategic mindset and a willingness to learn, ordinary people can achieve extraordinary results. Friendly reminder, comment below and share your favorite lesson from Mark's journey. How will you implement these strategies in your own life? Don't forget to like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more actionable insights into real estate success. Mark's journey was also about mindset. He treated each obstacle as a challenge to overcome, each setback as a lesson to learn, and each success as motivation to continue growing. He maintained a long-term vision, understanding that true wealth is built over years of consistent, disciplined action. As Mark mentored others, he realized the importance of community. He joined investor groups, hosted local workshops, and shared his strategies online. This not only helped new investors get started, but also strengthened Mark's network and opened doors to larger, more complex deals. By helping others, he also reinforced his own expertise and credibility. Final reminder, share your thoughts in the comments below. What inspires you most about Mark's journey? And remember to like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more real estate stories and actionable strategies. Mark's transformation from a classroom teacher to a successful multi-property investor shows that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary results. He started small, thought creatively, took consistent action, and remained persistent. Today, his life reflects the principles he lived by: education, action, leverage, and patience.